Well, first of all, I believe in God and I'm a Christian, but I know there are other things out there that we don't understand for sure.
I wouldn't really say I was psychic or say that I was a medium.
You know, you have prophets, you have false prophets, you have card readers, you have tarot card readers, you have voodoo workers, you have witchcraft workers, you have witchcraft, you have all that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of people, they have a tendency not to believe it.
You know, a lot of people refer to me, oh, you're a witch. You know, and that's fine. You know, call me what you want. If I had to classify myself as anything, I would call myself more of a messenger. One who speaks the problem and works the solution with a twist of medicine woman attached to it.
Lisa was very much younger than me. She's 13 years younger than me. So when I left for college, I mean, they were still little young kids. I remember some of the stuff, she saw this, and I saw a ghost. For me, I didn't really buy it.
I'm the youngest of five, the shortest of all five of us. All of my other siblings stand over 6 feet tall except myself.
I think by the time I started playing in the National Football League, Lisa had got a little different. Talking about ghosts to talking about when people were going to die and different situations and this was going to happen. And I guess it was kind of ironic when some of the stuff would start to happen. My mother, Helen, had gotten very ill. This was in my senior year in college. And at one point, I was at school and my mother, Viola, called me and said they didn't think that Helen was going to make it. She was very sick. And they couldn't find anything wrong with her. They didn't know what was the problem.
Someone in our neighborhood, a lady, had put witchcraft on my mother because she wanted to be with my dad. And she felt that if she killed my mom, that she could have my father.
Finally, one of my aunts, Aunt Sue, told my grandmother, Johnny Mae, about a guy in Louisiana. And his name was Stanley LeBlanc, because she had been going to him for years.
He was a medicine man, and he had told her about my mom, and he came to Houston to see about my mother. He told her that a lady had put witchcraft on her, but did she believe in the power of having it taken off? And she said, yeah, she believed. And so he said, well, if you believe, then I can do the work.
He did, he helped my mother. And my mother told him about me. And she told him that she wanted him to watch me, protect me while I played football. He says, I don't know anything about football. He says, but this boy is very good. He says he's very good and he's going to play pro football. You know, we started talking and we just became friends. I mean, he was like a dad to me, basically. I mean, it was like the dad that I lost when my father died. The funny thing about it is that I only met Stanley once in my whole life. I knew him from 1983, the time he died in 1990, I think, and I only met him one time. We talked on the phone the whole time. It came time for the draft. He asked me where did I want to go. I said, well, I want to go where I can make a big impact right away. I said, because I know I'm a good college football player. I said, but people don't really know who I am. He said, let me tell you, he said, by the time you finish, they will know who you are and then some. I said, okay. So I told him, you know, that I think I would like to go play in Los Angeles for the Rams. He said, really? I said, yeah. He said, you sure? I said, I'm positive. He said, okay. He said, that's where you're going to wind up now. I said, okay. I was the second player taken in the NFL draft. I was taken by the Los Angeles Rams. And it was funny because I talked to him early that morning. It was on the radio in the car. Los Angeles Rams take running back Eric Dickerson, Southern Methodist University. And he started laughing. He said, what'd I tell you, boy? He said, I'm good at what I do. He told me, he said, if you're gonna have an unforgettable year, he said, I'm just telling you, unforgettable. He said, things that no one has done before. My rookie year, I had 1,800 yards and 20 touchdowns, and that's been 20 years and still stands to this day. And then the next year, I remember we talked and he said, he got close to that 2,000 yards, OJ's record. My second year, I broke that record at 21:05, and that still stands today. I never talked to anyone about this. This was between me and Stanley, my family.
My mom would receive packages in the mail from Stanley, powder and, you know, peels and ointment and different incense, and it was just like, wow, I want to do that. I want to be able to, you know, make up stuff and concoct stuff so stuff can happen.
Stanley told me, he said, that little one has it, little one has the gift. He said, but you know, she ain't developed yet.
Stanley taught me things after he passed away. He would come to me gradually in my dreams. I always can hear a high-pitched sound that comes in my ear, and there's like a film that comes over my eyes. It's almost like a migraine headache coming on, but I know it's not. So when the spirits want to come in, I have to go to a quiet place in order to be able to hear what they want to tell me or what it is they want to show me. My fireplace where I keep my work, my candles, they'll always appear there through the light of the fire. And I can hear them just like I can hear anybody else talking. The reason why I've helped so many athletes is because my brother is in that athlete circle, and a lot of the guys that walk in the house, if something's not right, I can't just sit and be quiet. I always have to say something. And then when I do speak to that person and I tell them what I see, 9 times out of 10, 10 out of 10 times I'm right. I can change the outcome of a game. Yes, I can very much so change the outcome of a game. If they called me on a Monday and said, we want to win this game, this is our chance of getting in the playoffs, or we really want to beat this team, I'd have to work all week long, and I would need a photo of the opposing team and the actual team that has requested they want to win. So, yeah, I have to work all week long, but I could change the outcome.
Lisa has a real gift. I mean, she really does. And it's not, you gotta understand one thing, only God knows the final outcome. People must understand that. I mean, she can tell you things, she can alter things, but no one has the final say-so except God. I think people think they put their faith in a card reader or even a prophet. You can go so far, but she can't be God. I always say that because Stan say that to me. He said, Eric, I can do nothing without God. He said, and that's one thing that people must understand. It's not about the devil, it's not about Satan. I mean, you have some people that worship the devil and Satan, but I know my sister don't.
If I could give it all up tomorrow, I would, but I know that there's still so much work to do. And I wanted to just be normal, be a normal girl. I have guys where they see me coming and they run, they literally run.
She freak people out. I mean, there's places we go and I said, look, don't be doing that here, to stop that. What I'm gonna tell, I said, don't be telling the people that, because since she's been with me around out in California, I've been kind of guarded of it, because most people look upon it in an odd way or they accept it. And I think that right now, people really accept it, but I think like anything, it has to be done the right way.